Alright, guys, so it has been a while, but I am back, and I am back with a deck that I am very excited to show you guys today. It is none other than Dragonic Overlord, the Cross. Kagero. It's Kagero. It's a Kagero deck. But anyway, what's going on, guys? It's been a while, but it's me, Mama John, and I'm here to present to you guys my post-Silver Dust Blaze updated Kagero deck profile for Dragonic Overlord. Now, obviously, this deck is one of the more scarier decks to come out of the booster set. I would honestly say it is the best deck, but I mean, that is personal bias aside. Nonetheless, I'm here to showcase you guys how I built the deck, my overall thoughts, and the reasons why I have certain things in here. But without any further ado, let's get right into it. So, obviously we're going to be starting out with our grade 3s, and we are going to start out with none other than 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord, the Cross. I mean, there's really not much to say about this card. Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to 1 card with Overlord in its card name, and it gets that ability until the end of the turn. And then, obviously, when your card effects have to count for cards in your hand is always regarded as 0. And of course, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit's drive cannot become 0 or less. I mean, that effect is nutty, guys. I mean, yeah, right, you can theoretically search out Dragonic Overlord Original or Dragonic Overlord the Great, but everyone knows that the target is going to be Dragonic Overlord the End. The ability to restand twice on your first grade 3 turn if you go first, and then the ability to restand 3 times on if you go to grade 3 second is super busted. I mean, this is, in my opinion, one of the strongest blowout cards that Bushiroad has created. I mean, yeah, I know Luard is going to be coming soon, and that deck in itself is completely nuts, but I still think, even to Luard meta, and possibly, and I'm hoping, post Luard meta, post Lambros meta, that this card is still going to be viable. I mean, unless they find some way to astronomically power creep a 3 critical super big boy that restands 3 times. I mean, yeah, he's the boy. That's what I'm trying to say. And then, of course, with your 4 Dragonic Overlord, the Cross, you're going to be playing 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord, the End. Now, I will say, personally, that I am not a fan of having to ride into him as your first grade 3 ride option. I mean, it's not terrible, per se, but in this current state of the meta, where people are trying to end the game, you know, as fast as they possibly can, this doesn't call for speed, I guess. This is more so, if all else fails, you at least have a grade 3 option and the ability to get a gift. But of course, most of the time, you're going to be grabbing and wanting to ride Dragonic Overlord the Cross. And he is here only for his ability to be used on Dragonic Overlord the Cross. Of course, we're playing grade 3 searchers and the ability to search the Cross, but, you know, Vanguard is a game in which we are unlucky, and unfortunately, that, yeah, might not always be the case. Alright, guys, moving on to the grade 2s, we have 2 copies of Berserk Dragon. Now, I managed to find the space to fit in 2 additional cards into my grade 2 slot, so I chose to put in Berserk Dragon. I apologize. And the reason why is that as much as you want to restand, and as much as you want to rush in to face to your opponent, you do also want some form of board control. There are problematic cards in the game still. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to target a specific one, but I mean, one that comes to mind is obviously Nemain, right? You want to be able to remove problematic cards, and Berserk Dragon is just a good form of spot removal. Not only that, but of course, if you ride into him, he's also just a free draw. So that in itself makes him a pretty valuable card still. You can try other things if you want, but personally, as it is right now, I am comfortable with the Berserk Dragons, and it's going to be staying that way for the foreseeable future. And then next up, we have 4 copies of Ignero Dragon. Now, this card in itself is super good. Now, you wouldn't think so just on its base effect, right? I mean, it's a 10k body, and it gets power, but that's only if your Vanguard restands. The one thing that you have to realize, guys, is that the ability to search your ideal grade 3 ride, especially in this current state of the meta, is super, super good. Because, once again, you're trying to kill your opponent as fast as you can. So, the idea here is play as many cards to be able to search your ideal grade 3 ride as possible, and then completely blow them out of the water. And not only is Ignero Dragon super good in that regard, but the ability to get plus 5k per Vanguard attack is super good, because for whatever reason, if they did not die to the Dragonic Overlord the Cross, that is restanding like 50 times. I mean, I know I'm probably being a little dramatic there. They are going to take a large hit from this big boy over here, because he gets 5k for every single time the Vanguard attack hits. Sorry, the Vanguard attacks. I apologize. And of course, you know, you have to have 4 or less cards in your hand. Once again, synergistic with Dragonic Overlord the Cross, because always regarded as 0 cards. So, Ignero Dragon, 4 of. Super good card. Next, we're going to be playing 4 of the new double rare from this set, Torrid Cannon Dragon. Now, Torrid Cannon Dragon, counterblast 1, once per turn, Vanguard rearguard circle, you put a normal unit to the bottom of your deck, and then choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards retired, and if your hand has 4 or less cards, you draw a card. So, once again, we want spot removal in this deck. It is still, I think, very important in Kagero. However, the main target here is the ability to counterblast 1 and put a normal unit back into your deck. Why is that important? Very simple. For whatever reason, if the Vanguard gods hate you, like me, they will most likely snipe all of your Dragonic Overlord the Ends in the early game. Therefore, you have the ability to put the Dragonic Overlord the End back into your deck on your first Dragonic Overlord the Cross ride, your second Dragonic Overlord the Cross ride. You have options to put them back into your deck for Dragonic Overlord the Cross. Not only that, but the ability to draw a card, and since your hand is always regarded as 0, is super, super value. So, super strong card. I would play it as a 4th. Alright, now, moving on to the grade 1s. Now, the grade 1s, I will be honest, it is quite flexible. There are a few cards you could probably take out here, but this, at the current moment, is the build I am most comfortable with, and I enjoy playing with. So, I'm going to stick it with what I have, but keep in mind, guys, it is completely up to you how you want to build up your deck. This is just more of a suggestion. So, we're going to play 4 copies of Lava Flow Dragon. Alright, so Lava Flow Dragon is the grade 3 searcher for Kagero. If you have no rearguard, if your opponent has no rearguards, plus 5k, and then obviously the grade 3 search effect where you check the top 5, add a grade 3 to hand, discard 1. So, another grade 3 searcher. So, another searcher for Dragonic Overlord the Cross. Again, being able to find the main grade 3 ride target, being able to ride into him, and try to end the game as fast as possible. This is just another card to help you get to your win condition. So you play it as a 4-up in order to quickly end the game. Super crit into your opponent's face. Name of the game, folks. Okay, next. We're playing an oldie but a goodie. 4 copies of Flame of Hope Ermo. Now, you would think that you're playing him because of the counter charge. While that may be true, I personally feel that the main reason we're playing this guy is because of the draw 1. So, synergistic with both your Berserk Dragons as well as your Torrid Cannon Dragons, and the ability to draw a card to filter into your deck faster. Again, being able to search your win condition and being able to ride and draw into him is super important. So you want to try and play as many cards as you can in order to draw into him. I say that, but at the current moment, this is the only form of draw power I'm playing. Now, you can play something like Sable Dragon Newt, which is the same exact ability on retire on something. You get to draw, you retire that unit and draw a card. However, I found it personally important to play a particular different lineup, just because the way the game states kind of move for me, I feel like I need a little more push on my turn. So I try to build around that. But nonetheless, Flame of Hope Ermo, super good card, highly recommend it. To that, we are playing a new card from the set, the new grade 1. For Heat Shot Dragon. Now, Heat Shot Dragon, very simple card. When placed on Vanguard Circle, discard a card from your hand and draw a card. So, it is on Vanguard Circle only. However, it is a filter card and a card to help you dig through the deck faster, which is why we play him. But we also play him because of the other rearguard ability, in which you, at the end of the battle that your Vanguard restood, you get to stand Heatshot Dragon. It's not the exact wording, but I mean, that's the general idea of it, right? So, why do we play this card? We play it because it is a constant 8k booster on our Vanguard. So on those super important push turns where we're dealing at least 23k damage, well, with a constant booster, now it's 31k. It can be more, it can be more with triggers. However, the fact that you have to basically ask your opponent to pitch additional resources in their hand because you have a booster every single turn makes this card super consistent. So, once again, highly recommend that you play this card. Or not, I mean, again, up to you guys. You choose what you want to do. Last grade one I'm going to be running in this deck. It's something that I personally think is a scary card, right? But again, this lineup is very flexible. So if you wanted to choose something like Sable Dragon Newt, you're more than welcome to do so. However, I personally found a little more value in 3 copies of Calamity Tower Wyvern, and it's only because on those big push turns, a constant plus 15k boost onto your Vanguard, onto your Dragonic Overlord the Cross, means that your opponent has to discard additional resources into their hand. By retiring one of them, it is a constant critical trigger that they have to discard every single turn, at least, which is super value. So, Rearguard Circle, so plus 1, retire this unit, Vanguard gets 15k until end of turn. So, main reason why we play him, you call him on your push turns for Dragonic Overlord the Cross, so plus 1, retire him, give him power. Super useful, super powerful, and personally, one of the cards I chose to run for my build. Moving on to the triggers. Now, some of the lineup is pretty self-explanatory, but at the same time, with the addition of the new Sentinels, I don't know why I'm putting them in quotations, I mean, they really are called Sentinels. But with the new addition of the Sentinel cards, I found that I've been wanting to rely heavily on critical triggers for this build, but I did not want to completely deny myself of a perfect guard, because there are a lot of cases in Vanguard where a perfect guard is way more important than a 30k shield. But in recent games, a 30k shield actually gets you by. So, with that in mind, I will be showing you. I am playing currently 4 heal triggers. Mandatory, guys. Heal trigger, best trigger in the game. And then only 2 perfect guards. And the reason why, because I'm only playing 2 perfect guards, is because I'm playing 2 of the Dragon Knight Jeanette. But again, if you feel like that's uncomfortable, you're more than welcome to play 4 Barry. That's totally fine. Or I mean, if you're a real baller and you just want to go balls to the walls, by all means, play 4 Jeanette. I mean, it's your deck, completely how you want to do it. Just personally, this is how I built it, and I feel very comfortable with it. And then to top off the 2 critical triggers, we have more critical triggers. 4 more crit. And 4 more crit on top of that. We're in a grand total of 10 criticals. Because, again, we want to ram into our opponent's face as fast as we can, go force 2, swing lots of critical triggers in their face, and hope they die. And then, of course, we play the lovely V-Starters. Quick shields are important, although mine doesn't say it, but it is. And yeah, that is the deck, guys. Overall, I quite like it. It is very strong. Against Messiahs, definitely a push and a shove game, but if you get everything, it's a complete blowback. OTT is actually very scary. I would say that is definitely one of the more scarier matchups to go against. Yeah, I think overall, though, it is definitely one of the stronger decks that's coming out of Silver Duskblaze. Again, personally, I think it's the strongest deck, but, I mean, it's Vanguard. Things can swing to either people's ways. But yeah, that is the deck overall. If you guys, of course, have any comments about the deck that I posted for you guys today, please let me know in the comments below. I'm more than curious. Always like bouncing around Kagero ideas with fellow Kagero nerds. And, of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we recommend that you do. We do upload Vanguard content. Not as frequent, but maybe that might change. Who knows? With all this cool stuff that's happening. And then, of course, I'm going to be having a few more Kagero deck profiles. Of course, Overlord is not the only clan, right? No, there's more things. So if you guys are excited, stay tuned for a awesome Blade Master deck profile that I will have up probably after this. But remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I don't think we have a Patreon. No, we don't. Do we have a Facebook? Yes, follow us on Facebook. Do we have a Twitter? Yes, we have a Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. Am I forgetting anything? If we have a social, follow us. And then something about a bell. It goes ring-a-ling-ling. So hit that. All right. That is it for me. Mama John out. Deuces.